that's enough of that. Gee, how'd that get in there?
Shit off.
Hello and welcome to possibly the last show of the year of Blue Sunday. I'm your host, Joe Lutzer, all the way here in Bangkok. You know me as Bangkok Joe. Joining me, as per usual, in our luxurious, expensive Melbourne studios, I've got first former president of the Carltonians, life member of the Carlton Football Club, Big Vincenz. How are you, Vince?
I'm not too bad, Joe, and I've got to say I'm pretty happy with that result yesterday. I think it was a fantastic victory, and really, you know, you can't sing the praises of the Brisbane Lions Football Club anymore. They've just been awesome over the last, 7 years. They've made the finals, 7 years in a row, 3 grand finals in a row, and they've won the last 2 back to back. So, you know, you've got to give credit where credit's due. They've been fantastic.
They have. And also joining me from his deathbed after a huge night on the Terps, Sebba. How are you, Seb?
Yeah, I'm well.
Counting all his money from his punting during the week, by the sounds of it.
Nah.
Manicato Stakes night and all that.
I did me balls last night. I don't want to look at my ends up.
For our viewers, Sebba had a very big night celebrating the Brisbane Lions victory. So
he must have tipped Geelong or backed Geelong, one or the other.
Well, if you see him bring a bucket up, just get out the way, all right? Just watch out. Anyway, nice to have you back, Seb.
Good to have you back, Sebba.
Let's do a bit of housekeeping and then let's go on. There's the green bucket already. He's on the San Pellegrino. Okay, as everyone knows, Jumper Punch is proudly sponsored by the Sporting Globe Bar and Grill in Northland. As Molly Meldrum would say, do yourselves a favour, get up there, get yourself a Parma pot. I've only been there once and I only had a Parma and it was quite good, but I'm sure they've got all the other traditional fare like steaks and pork chops and everything else. So get up there and help yourself. Also, chicken wings with buffalo ranch sauce. Also, my company, Retired Working for You Tours, doing everything that we can in Thailand. And last but not least, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel, The Jumper Punch on YouTube. And we have a Facebook page at Blue Sunday. Vince, we're nearly at 2,000 subscribers. So I think next year we've got to aim for over 2,000. So people like, share, and subscribe and get us up to the 2,000.
That'd be nice.
Okay, so as you all know, we normally have a special guest. He's waiting for us in the wings. I refer to none other than Mr. David Rhys-Jones. How are you, David?
Yeah, very good. Yeah. No, it's been a quiet weekend for me, so I'm fresh as a daisy. So
yeah, I think you remember when you were 24, like Sebba, having those big nights with the smokes and all that.
That's it. Yeah, on the lung busters and
Hey, before we go on, I saw something during the week. I think it's very pertinent. Here is a team of Norm Smith medalists. Have a look who got centre half back. Mr. David Rhys-Jones playing alongside Bruce Dool and Luke Hodge. How'd you like that team, David?
It's not too bad, is it? Yeah, no, looks
not bad. Nathan Buckley couldn't make the squad. Look, Nathan Buckley's on the bench. Look who's on the bench.
Where's Will Ashcroft? He's just won his second one and he's not even on the list.
Vince, I said this was during the week.
Oh, right. Okay.
You know, maybe get the potatoes out of your ear and listen for a change.
It's a fair team, that, isn't it, Dave, when you look through it?
You wouldn't mind playing against that team, would you? You got Gary Ayres, Brian Lake, Glenn Archer, Luke, alongside Luke. You and Luke Hodge would have been a formidable duo, wouldn't you, David?
I loved the way he played, so, yeah.
That's what I'd hate to be on the half-forward flank playing against you guys. You should be looking behind your ear all the time. Anyway, that was just a bit of a thing. Hey, guys, before we get on to what's happened during the week, just a little bit of Carlton news. Jesse Motlop has re-signed for 2 years. What do we think about that?
Yep,
David, your thoughts?
Fair enough. No, fair enough. I think he's earned another contract. He's only young. He's only young at the moment. He hasn't performed well. I think the heat's got to come on him, though, performance-wise. I think he's, he deserved to be dropped a few times during the year this year, and wasn't, and why I'll never know. But they've placed a lot of faith in him, and he hasn't repaid it yet. So let's hope for the best, because he can obviously play. He's just I don't know where and I don't know when. I mean, he's one of those players who shows a lot but doesn't do a lot, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Promise, potential. Potential's a real, it's a bad word in football to be called a player with a heap of potential, because you've got to fulfill it. It just shows that you're not there yet, and you're a long way from it. But you've got the kit bag of some sort that can perform. So he needs a massive pre-season, a really, really big pre-season. Bulk up a bit, get into the weights, work on his pace, and go and knock it out of the park next year, because he has to.
Any thoughts, Vince and Sebba? Vince?
Yeah, happy with it. So
I dare say that they probably didn't want to go 2 years, but because of the offers from Port Adelaide and wherever else he was getting some other offers from, they probably had to, if they wanted to keep him. So they've gone with 2 years. But
fair enough.
As Rhys says, he's got potential. He looks the likely type, but we need to see it on the field.
Okay, Sebba, you were going to say something?
Yeah, no, I'm happy with it. I think there's not much else.
Happy?
I think we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, but yeah, I'm happy with it. Just hope he pulls his finger out next year and performs.
Now, I saw this comment during the week. I don't know what to make of it. I'm gonna refer to our expert David, who's actually played. What do you think of this? Patrick Cripps, I'm really bullish about next year. I'm more confident going into next year than I was this time last year. Now, we've lost Tom de Koning, Jack Silvani, and someone else. We'll probably lose a couple. Why would he come out and say something like that, or is it the media department? What a stupid comment.
Well, what's he going to say? I mean, from now until March, early March, when the rounds start, every single team will be talking like this. Every single team. You've got to, and to be perfectly honest, you've got to put it out there, because we want players out there thinking, who are thinking about, leaving their club, or they're not, disillusioned where they are at the moment, to think about Carlton as a proposition. So it's just part and part of the propaganda, and every club's going to be doing it. I reckon if you went to St Kilda or Essendon or whoever, the teams who didn't make it, they're all saying the same songs. They're all going to be singing it and trying to puff their chest out, and a lot of that's to do with players. You want to get to your club.
I must agree with Rocco Morrow. I can't see us losing a game till at least March next year. I agree. I'm going to say that. Anyway, well, I suppose
you got to remember, Joe. They're instructed to say these sorts of things because football clubs are in the business of selling hope. The reality is there's only one out of every 18 teams that's going to win a flag every year.
Yep.
And, the other 17, all they can do is promise hope that, we're looking really good. We're feeling really good about our chances next year. So it sells memberships, it sells sponsorship, it sells all sorts of things. So, that's the business they're in.
I'm over it. I'm already over
me
it.
too. All right.
I'd like for him to shut. Sorry, Joe. I'd like for him to just shut up and not say anything. But they're not going to do that.
It won't happen, Sebba.
I mean, there's people out there. There's people out there who they get, they go and buy their or get given their memberships for Christmas and different things. So, you got to sell hope and to be perfectly honest,
I'd love them to shut up, but they just won't. It's just how it is.
Well,
Anyway.
I don't want him to shut up. I want him to back it up with performance.
Exactly.
If you're going to put
You can say
yourself
what
out,
they want.
and to be perfectly honest, if they don't hit the year and hit round one wanting to be number one at the end of the year, then what's the good of them being there? I mean, and that's any club, any and every club. I mean, if you're really out there and you think, we're just going to go through the motions and I mean, there is clubs out there, West Coast, North Melbourne, who are, there are a few who are not remotely possible of being there. But you've still got to go out with that attitude. You've still got to have that attitude, and you've got to go out every week. And as tough as it is, if you haven't got the ability, and I know what it's like being in a lesser club, and so you have to really knuckle down and
get fair income.
Have belief in each other too, and you never know what you can do.
Yeah. Okay, so the week started with the Brownlow, and I don't want to brag, but someone predicted Matt Rowell to win the Brownlow. Oh, that was me.
Good get. Great get.
Well,
and didn't just win it, smashed it too.
You went out to the local TAB out there at Bangkok and put $10,000 on him, or
I did have $20 on sports bet with him. So there you go, Vince. So thank you very much.
Okay, good.
So I just want to, and when we get to the tips later, you'll see how brilliant I am when you see who I picked for the Norm Smith medal. But we'll just get to that later. But the sad thing of the night, sorry, Nick, we did all we could to help you, mate. That's all right. Yeah. And what do you think, David? The AFL have come out and said maybe we should have something for the second place. I mean, come on.
Gold, silver, and bronze for the Brownlow?
No. Yeah. No, not at all.
Just on the Brownlow.
Put it this way, people and people are up in arms. I mean, there was one match, I think. I
was just about to mention
17 possessions or something. In that match, he had 17 tackles.
Yeah, right under the umpire's nose.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's the game's not about possessions, unless your name's Nick Dacos, I suppose. But that's all Collingwood supporters seem to think is, people matter. I mean, do people really worry about who's kicking the ball in from fullback? That's a
possession.
Him and his brother fight over it, getting back there to get that kick in to get an extra possession. So and the old 1-2s and different things. So and the other thing is it's an umpire's award. It always has been. And there's a million other awards you can look to if you really want to. But the Brownlow Medal must stay the same. It must never change. They should never change any of the rules or anything towards it. Putting more votes out, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or anything. It's just got to remain exactly the same. And the umpires decide. And I'll be one to vouch. I reckon they missed a heap of my votes getting games. I might have said something to them during the game or whatever, but done something untoward towards an opponent, but I still reckon I deserve votes in those games.
There is talk, though, Rhys, about the umpires potentially, if they ask for it, being given the stats of the game before they put in their vote. Now, it's a possibility.
Why?
Well, it's been discussed, and Andrew Dillon confirmed last week in an interview on Foxtel.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. They should not change any avenue to it. It shouldn't make any difference. It's the way they see the game. It's the way they see the bloke.
Yep.
Yeah, and you have a look at Matt Rowell. He a bit like Cripps last year. I mean, just goes 100 miles an hour at the footy and puts his body on the line consistently. I mean, if they're not impressed with that, then and that's the blokes who are getting the ball out of the blokes, giving the ball back to the umpire every time. Or putting the tackles on or doing all those.
What do you think? What do you think might have been in the umpires' minds when they got together after the St Kilda Melbourne game and decided to give Naziah Wanganeen Miller 2 votes and Jack Ryan 3? I mean, they obviously had some sort of logic behind that.
It was a massive last quarter, wasn't it?
Mm.
Vince,
which is normally what they do.
Jack Ryan had 18 tackles.
Yeah, I understand. And Melbourne dominated that game for 3 quarters, right?
Exactly. I mean, people forget. That St Kilda was shit for 3 quarters. Absolute crap for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
And come out in the last quarter and won. I think they did it today in the women's game too. I heard on the news. So
yeah, they did.
They did something similar. So, you know, you don't reward for a quarter of football. You reward for 4 quarters and you know, I mean,
stats. That's the most important stat is, do you win the game? Right? I've said this for ages. Everyone wants to.
But that doesn't mean that you have to get the best player on the ground.
No, exactly.
I mean, there's been Norm Smith medalists that have been voted by you know
in the losing side.
Buckley, Gary Ablett, you know, in losing sides. So
David
Rioli in 1982.
Yep.
David, would you prefer a Brownlow Medal or a Premiership?
Premiership.
That's what we play the game for. If you want individual awards,
it's a team game. It's a team game.
Exactly.
So, and that's why that's another reason why it annoys me why people talk about these awards, because good luck to the person who wins them. It doesn't. You can look back at it when you finish your playing days, but don't worry about them while you're playing, because
when you look at it,
even you're playing a team sport, and if you really chasing individual awards, then you're not doing your team any favours.
Well, when you look at Carlton in the last 25 years, it's only individual awards that anyone can point towards. I mean, whether it's Favola as a Coleman medalist twice, whether it's Chris Judd as a Brownlow medalist, or whether it's Paddy Cripps as a dual Brownlow medalist, and these are all individual awards that at the end of the day, they're not satisfying the supporters. We want to see a premiership. So you're spot on, Rhys.
The premierships I've seen, all just Brownlows and Colemans, they're my premierships.
Anyway. All right, and talking about Carlton talking about medals, I see young Cody Walker got a best on ground on the weekend
He did.
Is it the Wannabes or something? I didn't see the game. Did anyone see the game?
He was playing for a side coached by Sam Doherty, and there was another side coached by, I think it was Travis Boak from memory.
Yeah, Travis Boak. Yeah,
and he was awarded Sam Doherty's team's best player.
Well, let's hope when we get him, he can win a couple of Brownlows or Norm Smiths. I prefer Norm Smiths on the day. All right, let's get to the big game, okay? And the most important question, I'm going to go to you, David. What do you think of Snoop Dogg?
I didn't see any of it, to be honest. I did miss that. I missed that part of it. So I was actually doing other stuff and missed that. So,
Vince, you're a big hip hopper from way back. Drop it like a top.
Look, I'll be honest. I'd never really witnessed anything he'd ever done. So I just went in there with an open mind and watched it. Look, I think to the people that like him and like his type of music, now where I went to school, music was, songs were something that you sang. Most of these songs are songs where they don't actually sing, they talk. But anyway, look, I respect the fact that he's got a fan base. I respect the fact that he's been very successful. Good on him. Good luck to him. I don't think it was the right sort of act for a grand final. I just don't think it landed. Really, you'd have to be a Snoop Dogg fan.
Did you see him getting off the plane last night?
No.
Didn't you see that? He was wasted. He was wasted. He was staggering down the stairs and
probably put away a few.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah.
He probably put away a few cones. That's for sure.
That's illegal in Victoria. That's illegal in the communist state of Victoria, Vince.
You can do anything in Victoria, but come back here, Joe, and just do whatever you want. Just put a balaclava on the way you go.
Right. I'll do.
Anyway, look, to answer your question, Joe, not my cup of tea. I didn't enjoy any of it really. I couldn't get into the spirit of whatever it is he was doing, but I could see that there are some people in this Gen Z, is it, that probably like him, and they're into all that rap crap. So I'm not into it.
Sebba, you're the young one amongst us. What do you think?
I don't really listen to rap or anything like that anymore, to be honest. But I mean, he was alright. I actually can't remember the last time I went out of my way to listen to rap. But yeah, I think it's garbage. But I think it was alright. It wasn't horrible. I've seen definitely worse. But it's just not.
Meatloaf.
It's not. I don't think it's the right type of act for the AFL. But what can you do? When you got an absolute barnacle like Andrew Dillon running the show.
Yeah, I don't know who else I'd get. Anyway,
look, it's created headlines. It does.
It's done its job. It's done its job.
Exactly. I mean that it would have gone worldwide. Because of Snoop Dogg, and I think he's got a. I think the most important thing, he's got some not a podcast. He's got some documentary thing that he's filming at the moment, which this is going to be a part of. So he's going to. Yeah, so that
gives
was
our game a bit of exposure.
Yeah, exactly. So there's method in the madness here.
Sebby, you need more meatloaf, apparently. Anyway, let's get to the game. Vince, go through the scores, will you?
Okay, well, there you see Geelong 11-9-75. A few late goals to make the scoreboard look sort of half respectable. And Brisbane Lions, 18 goals, 14, 122. As you can see there, the first half was pretty close. There's only 3 points in it at quarter time. Brisbane pretty wasteful in that first quarter. Probably should have had at least a couple of goals lead. And, of course, the scores were dead set level at half time, 5-6, 36 each. And that's when Chris Fagan pulled the lever and said, righto, Lachie Neale, come onto the ground and show us what you can do. And that made a world of difference to their prospects in the second half. You saw that around about I think there was probably about 18 minutes on the clock when all of a sudden they went into an avalanche in that last few minutes of the third quarter and took a commanding 19-point lead into three-quarter time, but you just couldn't see Geelong recovering from that. The momentum was all with Brisbane. They kicked 4-1 in that third quarter. And then the last quarter, 9 goals, 5 to Geelong's 5 goals, 1 of which, probably 4 of those 5 were kicked in the last, 6 or 7 minutes. I think the lead got out to 64 points at one stage. So it was starting to look like it could have got ugly. But, I think they put the cue in the rack and started enjoying themselves for the last 5 or 6 or 7 minutes of the game. So a brilliant performance by Brisbane. Who could have anticipated that avalanche in the second half? They kicked 13 goals to only 6 in the second half. And we're commanding 47-point victors. And, they've got the spoils and they've won back-to-back premierships, which is very, very rare in our game. And so, who knows?
Not only that, Vince,
they could do a three-peat next year.
Back-to-back Norm Smith medals.
Yeah, back-to-back Norm Smith medals for young Will Ashcroft. What a player he is. He's only played 58 games. He's played 58 games.
And the other... Yeah, look, he's a talented young kid who's playing pretty decent footy and playing good footy. They haven't been outstanding games he's played. I mean, they haven't been.
But he's been right in.
But I think he's been very good in and to be able to perform on the big stage, in grand finals is important too for him. So
absolutely.
So you got no queries there, but I thought after the game, gee, there's probably 5 or 6 who are real possibilities, but I suppose when you look over 4 quarters, he
was doing a lot of his best work when the game was in the balance in the first half, and I think you'll find that guys like Hugh McCluggage, who were pretty well held for the first half,
held early.
But he got off the chain in the second half and ended up kicking 4 goals. I think probably 3 of those were in the last quarter. So, a lot of them sort of got onto the onto the train, if you like, when they were, downhill skiing. But geez, Will Ashcroft was in there boring in for the whole game. I'll just quickly go over some main goal kickers and possession winners for Brisbane. Charlie Cameron kicked 4 goals in a very valuable performance and really hit form at the right time. Hugh McCluggage got 4. Zach Bailey got 3. Kai Lohman got 2, and then singles to Morris. Both Ashcroft brothers got a goal each. Wasn't Levi's goal a brilliant one where he got around the man on the mark and kicked it from about 55? Lockie Neal, fantastic goal on the run in the third quarter. And Cam Rayner kicked one in the last quarter as well. For Geelong, Dempsey, the only multiple goal scorer with 4. Got a few late ones there in that last quarter. Blitzarves 1, Bowes 1, Close 1, Holmes 1, Manor 1, Mullen 1, and Shannon Neal got 1. Jeremy Cameron did not score a goal, neither did Patrick Dangerfield. And I'll mention them in a minute when I go through these possession winners. Main possession winners who got 20 or more. For Brisbane, it was Will Ashcroft with 32 possessions, plus he also laid 8 tackles. I think that was the highest of the game, if not at least for his team. Fletcher, 29. Zorko, 28. McCluggage, 26 and 4 goals. And Zach Bailey got 23 and kicked 3 goals, 6. Gee, I tell you what, if he had had his kicking boots on, he might have kicked an absolute bag. For Geelong, Max Holmes, gallant for his side, probably their best player, 33 possessions. Bailey Smith had a lot of the ball, but you wouldn't say he was very damaging, 29. Humphreys had 23 and Atkins had 20. They were the only possession winners over 20. And as I said, Patrick Dangerfield only had the 10 possessions, and Jeremy Cameron, who sustained that injury just before half-time, only had 8 possessions for the game and only kicked 1 point there in that last quarter. So, a lot of their better players were very, very quiet on the day. So they're your main goal kickers and possession winners, guys.
So, David, give us your wrap-up of the game as an ex-player who's played. I asked David before we got on, does it bring back memories, or does he feel like he wished he was out there? And he said, bloody oath.
Oh, it was only 38 years ago?
Well, I didn't wish I was out there, but it does bring back memories, of course. And, it's great, to be able to look back and say you've been part of, a similar environment or whatever. And, but with the game itself, I thought and I still think this. I think a few of those Geelong players they would have been going into this week thinking that this could be our last chance. We've got a lot of blokes over 30 running around at the moment. They're the blokes who didn't perform. So backing up week after week, I think backing up those 2 weeks really took its toll, which is surprising. I heard during the week Lee Matthews actually come out and say that he didn't think that Dangerfield was going to have any impact at all. And I was surprised by that comment. And I thought, geez, and he going on his game last week, he didn't think he'd be able to back it up. And he was right, 100% right. So, and I think that happens when, you get in your 30s and that and everything. I mean, he would have done everything right during the week, but just to be able to back up a superhuman performance last week, he just couldn't do it. And, probably shaved 5 or 6 years off his age, and he would have been able to do it. But that's what it does to you. So Lee Matthews is spot on there. And I think that happened with not only him, but a couple of his teammates. They just failed to fire. They got beaten in the engine room. Looked like Brisbane just kept putting more players in there, and whoever went in there, was able to fire up and get possessions and just win the clearances. And they're by far the most dominant, and they just ran the game out. They looked fresher. They looked, they just looked as cut above the rest. And it really does worry you, really, when you think of Oscar Allen and joining him next year, and Sam Draper, they're getting some talent in some areas that they need. So, they're going to be hard to beat again next year. And going on this too, I mean, go back 3 or 4 years, and there was a fair bit of heat on their coach at the time, whether he could get them over the line. Having not played the game, there are a few doubts about him. So it's good to see it for Fags too, because it's a come from Tasmania and do what he's done is a magnificent effort, and I don't think that should ever really. And you talk to people involved with Brisbane, they've really got a great football club up there, and everyone's treated the same. I think that's the one thing you sort of keep hearing out of it, and I think the most important thing is to have a very good football club and everyone all heading in the same direction. It doesn't matter who you are. You don't need critics in there. You need everyone, bouncing in the same position. Win, lose or draw. You just got to really be a good football club, and by being a good football club, you just need to be 100%. It's one in all, 100% behind everyone, and no bagging, no criticising, just accepting what happens and getting on with things and wanting to be better. And I think, so that just sounds like Brisbane have been able to do that to a T, because that gets the best performances out of your players, and everyone's happy. Everyone wants to do for each other, and that's what footy clubs are about.
A lot of people would have written off Brisbane after that qualifying final performance where they got beaten by 38 points at the MCG, and a lot of people started to put big question marks on them as to whether they could repeat the dose from last year. And do you know what they've actually achieved this year by going the full distance and winning? They're the first team in the history of the game to have played. Let me see. It's 27 games per season for two. They've played 54 games over the 2 seasons. Now, that's 27 in each season. That's 23 home and away games, and all 4 finals last year and all 4 finals this year. That's an incredible effort. And to come back from that qualifying final thrashing by Geelong, really, and to turn it around from a 38-point belting to a 47-point belting their way, geez, they're quick learners. They really did go to school on what they did wrong in that game, and Geelong had no answers yesterday.
Well, the other thing was Geelong came and played the same game too, which made it easier for Brisbane. They knew what was coming at them. They knew who was going on to McCluggage and what was happening. So they played their cards a few weeks ago, and Brisbane went to school on it. So good luck to them. And that's where I think, from Brisbane's point of view, from Geelong's point of view, they just didn't come out with any surprises. So they were, they played their hand. They said, well, this is us, and this is us on a platter, and this is how we're going to play. So they made it a bit easier for Brisbane as well.
Brisbane knew that they had to get the ball out from those heavy contested situations in centre bounce clearances and all that sort of thing. They just knew that when they got their hands on the ball, as quickly as possible, get it out of there and get it on the outside. And that's where they destroyed Geelong yesterday. They really did. Stoppages and everything. They kicked lots and lots of goals.
Yeah, the first half was just chock-a-block full of stoppages. And that was, that really... I think it wore those older blokes down too from Geelong. So so they were able to just continue and battle it out in that contested stuff, and then one team was going to break and it wasn't going to be them, and they then got the ball to the outside and still had the run in their legs. So so they were able to really dominate that second half of football and get the result that they deserved.
Sebba, you were going to say something?
Oh, I mean, there's not really much you can say. The only thing I can say is I didn't think I've really ever seen Geelong that spooked. they were rattled. They were just fucking rattled. And yeah, I don't know. I've never seen them like that. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I mean, yeah, I have a soft side for Geelong, but I couldn't believe it. They were just getting overrun. I know Lachie Neale come on, and he looked like he'd had 85 adrenaline shots. He was just running through them. I couldn't believe it. It was a great up until that last quarter. We were saying, a few of us when we were watching it, it's probably one of the better grand finals that I've watched in a recent memory. But yeah, they just run straight over him, over him.
Well, that was one of the smartest moves, you know. I mean, too. I mean, it had been sort of spoken about a little bit about Lachie Neale, you know, being the sub, but to directly just say, well, we're only going to play you in the second half. We're going to hold you for half a game of football. That makes a lot of sense, because if he had been in all that contested stuff early, would he have been able to do what he did, you know, in that second half after only playing in 3 quarters for 8 weeks? So that was just smart stuff. And once the ball, as you say, got to the outside, they were able to run, and their young legs just dominated the game, and they were able to run.
But how good was Lachie Neale, though, Rhys? I mean, 17 possessions in the second half.
He's a quality footballer.
10 clearances.
But we spoke about it. But we spoke about, you know, I mean, he's a quality footballer, and for him to come on as fresh as that, because his fitness is up. You know, his fitness is up. There's a little bit of the scare he could hurt his calf again, but barring that, you know, and knowing he only has to play half a game of football, he comes on fresh, and he's a quality footballer. You know, he's one of the best in the competition. Coming on at halftime in a grand final, when things are reasonably tight at halftime. I mean, you know, Geelong weren't out of it at halftime at all. So, it was a masterstroke, and you know, they're the sort of moves that can you know, change the course of games, and you know, that had a big bearing on it as well.
So also, just about bearing on. Oh, sorry, Seb, go, mate.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say, what a moment that would have been for both those Ashcroft brothers to go out there and get it together. Fuck, those two kids are, Jesus Christ. Well, one's already
they got 10, 12, 13, 14 years ahead of them too. So that's scary in itself.
And young Jasper Fletcher, another father-son, he's no slouch either. He was brilliant as well.
That team is it's fucking scary.
Well, to have a look at this, I was going to put this up. This is Premiership since 2000. So the Lions have won 5, Cats 4, Hawks 4, Tigers 3, where they did that 3 and 4 years, Swans, Eagles, Magpies, and then you go Dogs, Bombers, Power D's. I'd like to see this like in 5 years' time, how many the Lions will have won. I mean, I think the other teams have got a bit of catching up to do.
Definitely. And Queensland in general is becoming a real AFL footy state too. I mean, I said, you know, I watched their rugby league team, and I mean, I reckon the NRL would have been hanging on them, you know, getting over the line so they can get to a grand final next week against Melbourne Storm, but AFL is really taking off, and the Gold Coast, for example, in their what do they call it? The
Auskick.
No. Their group of kids.
The
Academy.
The academy. Their academy this year. They reckon there's 4 or 5 who could be, you know, in the top 20-30 players. So. That's scary in itself, and Brisbane's you know, been able to, you know, it's been a lot of work over a long period of time to develop AFL up there, and they're getting rewarded, you know. So but father sons are absolute gold, and you look at that list. I mean, Geelong, you know, with their father sons, with, you know, Scarlett, Ablett, Hawkins, you know. They're gifts. So, you know, unfortunately, we all produce girls. And
maybe we can say the same about Harry Dean and Cody Walker.
Yeah, well, we have, and they want to change the rules. There's always a way, isn't it? So something will start to stop us.
Well, we've got the Canterbury Alley twins.
from all accounts, both of them will be good to go. Cody Walker and young Deanie's
Harry
boys.
Dean,
Harry Dean. So looking forward to seeing it because we haven't got much out of it at all. And the Camperol is going to be okay. They're going to be, reasonable footballers.
A year under their belt.
You look at, we're talking, star quality coming out of Brisbane and Geelong and the clubs who have got lucky with it. But I don't want to see it change either. I want to see, the sons of greats to not be wearing, Collingwood colours or Essendon colours or anything. I want them in Carlton colours. And if you get lucky like that, then good luck to you. But sometimes it can come all at once, as it did with Geelong. But they, obviously the boys on the weekend, Ashcroft's, fantastic.
And and again, I think we said it, but it's what's crazy is that Levi's only 18 and Will's only 21. It's just fucking crazy to me. It's absolutely nuts.
I'll tell you what makes you wonder, Sebba. If Will Ashcroft hadn't have done his knee and he did an ACL in 2023 and didn't play in that grand final against Collingwood, if he was in that team, it does make you wonder whether the result would have been a bit different and whether he would have had three Norm Smiths.
He might have had three.
It's actually nuts.
Exactly.
They've got. Nuts that we look at the teams like that game yesterday. We look at it. We're nowhere up to scratch compared to any of them. But then you look at their young talent. Like our young talent all get branded as developing and they're this, they're that, and then you go look at theirs and they're blitzing grand finals, winning Norm Smiths. You know what I mean? It's a wonder what goes on down at Carlton land, but what can you do?
Well, you can say the same in a few other clubs too. But
yeah. Well,
but it is. I mean, the development of players, I think, has been poor at Carlton for quite a while now.
A long time.
Yeah, and you just haven't seen players sort of step up in. I mean, you look at that listed. It's got a lot of young players in there who are going to be around for a long, long time. So it is. It's scary when you look through the age bracket of a lot of them, Kai Lohman and all those young fellas. Hey,
Rhys, can I put you on the spot from a Norm Smith medal voting perspective? Seeing you've won a Norm Smith medal, no one better than you to vote on it. Can I get you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 if you were a judge yesterday voting for the Norm Smith medal? Who would you have given your 5 votes to?
I really thought,
and 4, 3, 2, and 1.
I thought Bailey might have got it, even though I dead said if he had to kick 6 goals 3 instead of 3 goals 6, I think he would have got it. But
maybe,
he missed those ones early, which normally you get. But he was dangerous the whole time. He just looked dangerous. Every pack in especially early in those when it was contested and that he was flying through and just looked dangerous at every stoppage. So I liked him. I think Ashcroft. If I went 3, 2, 1, which
the Cluggage played well.
The way they
I
played it.
Well, okay,
they 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So hang on, Bailey 5, Will Ashcroft 4.
Ashcroft.
Who's your 3, 2, and 1? Because I thought Harris Andrews was one of the best.
Harris Andrews is another one. Yeah, that's the one I always forget because you're always thinking of the midfielders.
Everyone forgets the defenders.
Yeah, they do.
Jasper Fletcher, 29 possessions. He was no slouch.
He was fantastic too. And you'd probably throw Max Holmes in as one vote for.
Yeah, fair enough.
For Geelong, he seemed to get a fair amount of the ball. He butchered it a little bit, but at least he was getting it, and he was the only midfielder that really sort of stood out from, as you said earlier.
Yeah.
Dane
Bailey Smith.
Zorko played well, I thought.
Zorko was good.
Yes.
Yeah, good off half back.
My word. Very effective.
He's had a very, very good year again. I mean, he's got his critics and so forth, but And there's a bit of talk about the Bailey Smith stuff with mouthing off to Harris Andrews too. People
Winners are
look at
grinners, though,
things
isn't it, aren't they?
that. Well, it is, and it
Harris
doesn't
now
look
looks
right.
at it and
It
laughs
doesn't
at
look great, but I think Harris Andrews has come out and said that we'd obviously won the game, and I was saying things I probably shouldn't have been saying, but I could say, and yeah. So
why not?
So,
I
exactly.
would have.
Yeah. So yeah, good on him. But yeah, Bailey Smith having to go back at him. Why wouldn't you? I would too.
Yeah, bloody
you got to cop the criticism because it doesn't look good. But anyway,
what did you make of Bailey Smith's game?
I mean,
he got 29 possessions, but did you think he was
dominate,
very effective or impacting? No, I didn't think so.
No, he was under pressure a lot. They all were though. They all were. When they did get possessions, they were under pressure, and they just they worked them out pretty well. I think a lot of credit's got to go to Fagan and the coaching staff there, because they worked them out after that. Wasn't a belting in the qualifying final, but it was a probably.
Well, it was a very comprehensive.
Brought them back to earth anyway. So and they were able to work on that, get through it, and come out and as I said before, Geelong should have really done something different. Yeah, I don't think bringing Rhys Stanley in was the right move either.
No,
would
have been better off with Jed Hughes back there, I reckon.
Yep, yeah, and you could have,
And Tom Stewart was a big out for them, wasn't he? I mean, he really does set them up from defence.
Massive.
But he wouldn't have been the difference.
And to be perfectly honest, if there is another rule that needs to be coming in and they want to change something, change it. The first week of the finals. I'd rather continue on, into finals, and then, if you are going to have rules like, the concussion,
the bye.
Well, it's more the concussion thing. That's and as soon as it come in, people were saying, what happens if, a bloke gets concussed, the week before a grand final, because both teams are playing, and it's happened. And, it's probably one of their best players, so one of their real generals across halfback. So he was a major blow out for them.
Yeah,
I think Geelong. I think in a way they got what they had coming to them. To be honest, I think was it Reese said it earlier. They played their card. They showed their cards, and I think, they just got touched up, and they deserved it. Scott outcoached himself, I think, too, a little bit. They got what they deserved. So, what can you do? They'll probably win the flag again next year. So
you can't be predictable. You can't be predictable because in this game, you predict, and it's why Carlton get beaten a lot, because we're very predictable about the way we play our game style, and that's so predictable. And we've got the big forwards down there. You just put an extra player back, and we
rebound.
Yeah, and that's it. Just run from there, run from half back, and set it up from there. So,
David, talking of Norm Smith medals, do you still have yours?
Yeah, it's floating around.
Do you know where it is?
Not off the top of my head, I don't know. No.
I saw it on eBay during the week, Joe.
Yeah, it was up to $3.25.
I'm only joking. No, I'm sure that takes pride of place in the David Rhys-Jones study somewhere, hanging up.
It's up on the wall.
No, where it should be.
It's in a box somewhere.
It's in a box in a shoe box. You'll probably forget which shoe box and throw it out.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
No, that's all right. I can't take your name out of the book anyway. It wouldn't matter.
Rhys, what did you think of? I don't know if you saw the press conferences at all. I mean, the Chris Fagan one with Will Ashcroft next to him was, predictably all smiles and all good stories. But what did you make of Chris Scott's press conference and some of the things he had to say in that? Did you happen to see it?
I watched a little bit of it. You're talking about the stuff.
He talks about the sub rule and that can't be thrown out quickly enough and all that.
I totally agree with him with that. It's probably not the right environment for it to be brought up in, but I'm 100% behind that. I think that rule just stinks, and I hate it. And as I said, players coming in playing their first game and sitting on a bench for 3.5 quarters is really woeful. And it's but it's a game of attrition too. And if you want to put more people on the bench, then go for that. I've got no. You have a look at it. What are they? The gridiron teams. They have another team based on the bench.
Yeah.
They just have people coming on and off. But we don't want to get to that stage. But you want to make it a war of attrition. But if anything, add to the bench more so than having a sub. If you think that's really the case. But I think 4 people on the bench is more than enough.
No, they'll end up making it 5, and I reckon one day in the not too distant future, maybe I don't know, somewhere between 5 and 10 years from now, I reckon it'll end up getting to 6. You'll have 18 on the field, and you'll have 6 on the bench eventually. But that's because the game's just getting faster. There's more and more injuries. There's more and more attrition. Let's just dissect that point that Chris Scott was making. It seemed like the dilemma that they had was, do they sub off Jeremy Cameron when it wasn't absolutely certain about how bad the injury was? And so they held off.
Vince, he could hardly lift his
arm. If you don't have a sub, hang on. I'm just trying to dissect what he's trying to say. So if you don't have a sub, which is what he wants. He doesn't want the sub. He just wants 5 on the bench. So what he would do is take Jeremy Cameron off and put that 5th player onto the field, and then be able to bring Jeremy Cameron back on, because once you've subbed someone out, you can't bring them back. That's the rules, isn't it?
He just wants 5 interchange. That's all he wants.
Yeah. He wants to be able to have that
sub to become an interchange. I
don't think he even wants the sub to be an interchange. He just wants it to be no sub at all, and
you either have 4 or you have 5 or
you've
whatever.
got an amount of people, whether it's 4, just your 2 back for 19th and 20th man back, in the day. But it's
game's
now
gotten quicker.
Well, it has, but. They can work it out how many they want to have, but it's still got to be a bit of a war of attrition too, and you've got to take your bumps. You've got to you've got to battle through those hard times. You've got to have Jeremy Camerons who are going to be willing to play with a broken arm. I mean, that's the other side of it. I mean, you're going to have players who are going to be willing to. I mean, there would have been a lot of players who went out there on the weekend who weren't 100%. Don't worry.
Dunkley had apparently
all of them would have been.
Yeah,
Dunkley had a bad ankle.
But so I mean, every grand final and every team, you get to that end stage, you're never all going to be 100% ready to go. But if you give them that week off, can you imagine? And it goes to what I'm saying about what Lee Matthews said about Dangerfield. I mean, give Dangerfield a week off after magnificent, and that's what I think we want to see too. Yeah, we want to see them at their best.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to see them at their best. And if you give them a week off before the 2 teams, they have 14 days. There's any concussions or whatever are looked after. Yep. Plus, you've got your best players. With every opportunity to get themselves physically and mentally 100% ready to play. Yeah. Jesus Christ, that's what you want out there, and that's what you want to see on grand final day.
Yep.
Agreed.
So the previous weekend, when there's no footy on, you just probably do your Brownlow night on a Saturday or Saturday night or something instead.
Yeah, there's numerous things that I mean, there's All Australian. There's a whole load of things you can do.
They could do that Legends game and all that.
Rugby league will take over that. They don't.
Because this year they did that Legends game in the week that we had the bye. The pre-finals bye.
Yep.
Before we actually started the finals, they put that Legends game on. I think it was on a Thursday night. So
you can even
do that. You can even do that and have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah,
there's all sorts of things.
I think it got record ratings too, didn't it? And
absolutely.
So one of the most watched.
The crazy thing is that we actually did have a pre-grand final bye in 2021 when the grand final between Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs was played in Perth. they actually did have a grand final bye. And there was, I think, 14 or 15 days in between when Melbourne played their prelim and when they played the grand final. And the Western Bulldogs the same. I think they had 14 days. So one team plays their prelim on a Friday, one plays on a Saturday, and then they both had 2 weeks off. So, you know, and both teams were able to get pretty much full-strength teams onto the park.
All right. Is there anything else we want to say about the grand final that's been run and won?
I do. I want to call someone out in the chat. Shadu, you talk about us criticising Geelong. What did you want us to do? Sit here and sing their praises after you got belted by 40 points?
47.
I'm just saying. We understand you're Geelong. We understand you're good, but we're not going to sing here and give you a rub down after he's got belted.
This is the problem with today's day and age.
What do you want me to do? Obviously,
people don't like the harsh reality of when they put in a poor performance and being told. They want what they'd rather have is that all the Geelong players get participation certificates straight after the game.
Before you come back and say you're a Carlton supporter, I know my life's been a misery for 24 years supporting Carlton. There's nothing you can say that pisses me off. So
Well, I was going to say
sorry,
something.
guys.
Anyway, so no, that's all right. Nothing else, David, that you want to mention?
No, it was
Vince?
Oh, look, just, take my hat off to Brisbane. Chris Fagan, what a fantastic story. 64 years of age. The co-captains of Brisbane, both Lockie Neal and Harris Andrews, great leaders. And Will Ashcroft, sky's the limit. So, if you're a Brisbane Lions supporter or an old Fitzroy supporter, they're the people I really feel very happy for.
Yeah. Anyway, Shadu, we don't have any excuses.
Yeah, but
we've never said we've got excuses.
We go through all of our shows. Tell us when Rhys, Joe, or Vincenz gave us an excuse this year, because clearly you're listening with painted on ears.
No.
Let's see what we did with the picks. I don't want to brag, but for the Brownlow, David said Dawson. I didn't think he did that well, to be honest. And Dacos, who we all know got second, went for the Cats, and obviously Max Holmes. He had a bit of a quiet game too. He played all right in the first
When I went for the Cats, everyone should have jumped on Brisbane. They should have had your house on it.
Yeah.
Do you know Brendan Favola at the North Melbourne Grand Final breakfast declared that Geelong would win by over 10 goals and that the game would be over by quarter time?
Who said that?
Fev.
Did he?
Yeah, absolutely made a moron out of himself. But anyway, it's all a bit of fun.
Do you know how much that'd pay, Joe?
Sorry?
If you had taken it all up with Rowell, Lyons, and Will Ashcroft, that would have paid.
That would have paid big time.
Thousands.
Well, what was
Lions were outsiders. Lions were outsiders. Rowell was about an 8 to 1 chance or a 10 to 1 chance. And Will Ashcroft, he would have been probably 4 or 5 to 1.
I think he was about $12, $13. I don't know.
Yeah, he was.
Will Ashcroft?
120.
Really?
Wow. $240. It's about 300 to 1 there, Joe.
Well, I give you viewers the good oil and you don't take it. Sebba, you didn't give me a Brownlow, but you would have picked Matt Rowell, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would have picked Matt Rowell.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, righto.
And then he went for the Cats and Bailey Smith, and Vince went Peter Dacos. Dacos, Lyons, and Rayner.
Nick Dacos.
Peter Dacos probably got a bit of chance. So that means at the end of the final series, Sebba and Vince drew on 7. I didn't include the Brownlow. I got on 6, and David got 1.
David murdered teams all.
I just scored them all. And the only time I backed one was Geelong to beat Collingwood.
Yeah. And they did.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Cost me money.
Never.
No, hang on. Geelong didn't play Collingwood. Geelong played Hawthorn.
Hang on. Who did Geelong?
It was Brisbane that beat Collingwood.
Brisbane the first. No, you didn't get Geelong Brisbane the first.
No, preliminary final week, you tipped Geelong to beat Hawthorn.
Yeah, I didn't have one. Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Geelong Hawthorn.
First 2 weeks. Anyway, no worries. David, that brings us to the end of your involvement.
No
for
worries.
the year.
Thank you.
On behalf of
Thank you,
myself, Vincenz, Sebba, and all of the Jumper Punch viewers and the channel, thanks very much for your insightful comments and giving up your Sunday nights. We really appreciate it. So we hope to see you back here next year when the Blues are being a bit more successful.
Yeah, well, let's hope so, and let's hope there's a bit of there's a bit happens over this trade period over the next few weeks. It's going to be very interesting. So yeah. Looking forward to all that, and it's all fun and games and rumours and everything. But hopefully we can snag a few quality footballers and build our stocks up. And as I said, look,
make some excuses for Shadu.
Yeah, well,
because he's crashing out in the chat right now.
we really need that to just fill a few gaps, and things can turn pretty quick, and that's how we're going to be a bit hopeful, and hopefully we can pick up over the next few weeks we can pick up some quality, and then we've got Jagger Smith coming in as well. Look forward and look promising towards next year, because that's all we can do.
Well, you've got to look at it. You've got to look at him as you got to look at Jagger Smith as a new recruit. Really, I mean, Nick Newman's another one that missed. Well, Newman's another one that missed all season.
It's going to be better than a new recruit, because he's had 12 months in a a football environment. He's been able to develop his body a bit better. He's going to come in and hopefully smash it straight up. So let's look forward to that.
All right.
Thanks very much, David.
All right. Thanks. No worries. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Good on you, Rhys.
Mate.
All the best. Cheers, mate.
I'm sorry. I've absolutely. Shadu's crashing out right now. Relax, bro. Relax.
Who is this person?
He's all right. I just called him out on his comment, but just relax, bro. In the chat.
What's he saying?
Scotty, who comes to shit stir in our space all the time. TJP doesn't like when we do something.
Oh God!
I don't even know who he is.
No,
anyway,
he's always in our chats. He's always in our chats. He's all right, but he's just crashing out. I love it.
Oh dear.
Oh, God.
Hang on, Paz has put a hit out on him. I'd be worried if I were you, Shadu. The president of my fan club's going to put a hit out on you. Vince.
Yes, mate.
You know what time it is now, and don't say.
Probably about 8:30.
It's Vincano time. I can hear it. Look at him. So people,
you got to give us some sound effects like a volcano.
I do, but it's not working for some reason. Oh, hang on. I normally play this one.
That's better.
Which is
that's not bad.
Well, that's the best I can find. So if anyone can find a better one, more than happy.
Well, I've got to say one thing. I'm going to take an opportunity here to get stuck into the original person who's a past player and now king in the media, who's just won all of these Alf Brown awards and whatever else he's won recently. Kane Corns. He was absolutely scathing of Brisbane before the game yesterday for making Lachie Neale the sub and what a crazy move, and this is all going to be this is all going to come undone, and all this sort of stuff. And he has got that much egg on his face as a result of all of the stuff that he said before the game. In the end, as Rhys said, it was a masterstroke. The issue was not whether he was going to re-injure the calf or not, because they knew that the injury had been overcome. The issue was match fitness. He'd only played one game in 8 weeks. And so what they decided on was we're better off to only have him on the ground for a limited amount of time that he can actually have an impact. And it was perfect planning by Brisbane and by Chris Fagan and his team. That was superb. And to pull that lever at half-time just goes to show you how well prepared they were, how they weren't afraid to make moves and to change things up, whereas Chris Scott was full of hesitation and they didn't know what they were doing in the Geelong box and on the Geelong bench. It was mayhem down there. It was like Dad's army down on the on the bench with players going on and off the ground and into the rooms. It was just looking very disorganised, and I thought it was a superb move in the end to have brought Lockie Neal on. They knew he wouldn't let them down, and he made an immediate impact. I think he got something like 10 clearances and 8 or 9 score involvements, and he was a major reason why they just dominated that second half. So that's a bit of a slap down for Kane Cornes. I thought he made the mistake of shooting his mouth off before acceptances. But anyway,
he tries to be the shock jock of the.
I know. And look, I normally have a lot of time for Kane Cornes, but I thought on this occasion he overstepped the mark and he had egg on his face. What did you think, Sebba?
He'll eat it. He'll eat his humble pie.
I'm sure he will.
He has to. Does.
He has to.
But he always usually does. I think so. I mean, I like Kane Cornes. I think he's.
So
what do you think, Joe?
Oh, you.
Look, he's okay. He speaks his mind, right? That I like. But sometimes he just speaks utter crap.
All this business of, what are they doing? He's either right or he's not right. What are they doing? They're making him the sub. And anyway.
He's trying to emulate.
Sorry, see how it operates.
He's trying to emulate. There's this shock jockey that does NFL. He does American sports. Yeah. And Kane Cornes always mentions him, and he tries to be the same. And he's just
okay.
The guy in America is just so funny. But Kane Cornes, as Enzo's put it so bluntly, Kane Cornes comes across as a where is it, Enzo? As a dick. Comes across as a dick. So does Caroline Wilson. She thinks she knows everything.
Don't get me started on it. The other, I've got 3 or 4 little issues I wanted to bring up in my.
I was going to say, Vince, that couldn't just be the volcano.
No, that was just an intro. That was just a little appetizer.
Okay.
The other one was,
everyone sit back, get your popcorn, Sebba.
Jeremy Cameron. We mentioned the whole issue about him getting injured and all that, and I think that Chris Scott did not cover it. Like, I've got a lot of time for Chris Scott. I think he's a great coach and all that. He can come across a little bit arrogant at times, but yesterday's press conference, I don't think he covered himself in glory. He said a lot of the right things. He must have been horribly disappointed, of course. So, you give him a bit of leeway on the fact that he was a bit, upset, pissed off, call it what you want. But the things that he brought up in that press conference, I thought, no, now's not the time. And he came across as exactly what he said. He said, I know that this runs the risk of looking like I've got sour grapes. Yeah, it did, because it does sound like you've got sour grapes. The rules have got to be rules that everyone abides by. Chris Fagan had to abide by them, and he pulled the lever when he planned to. And clearly, Geelong didn't have that sort of a plan. So, I don't think their medical people covered themselves in glory either with the way they sent Jeremy Cameron back out there when clearly you could just tell that he'd broken his arm. You could see it on the day. He was holding it up and it was all bent. If you couldn't tell that was a broken arm,
he
was never going to be effective after that. He did do, like, to his credit, he did a fantastic run-down tackle of Jasper Fletcher there coming from, defence into the wing. And actually, did catch him, but he landed on his bad arm and he did more damage to it. So, I dare say he'd probably be in hospital at the moment trying to recover from that injury. But, I just think that Chris Scott, if he had his time all over again, I'm sure he'd not say a few things that he did say at yesterday's post-match press conference. So that's the second thing. What did you think, Joe? You got an opinion on that?
I think that the Geelong doctor was Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. Hi, I'm Dr. Nick.
Fair enough.
I thought it was stupid. I actually think that put the team at a disadvantage as opposed to having him.
Yeah.
Like Brisbane took the risk. They substituted Neal on at halftime, and then Starcevic got injured and couldn't come back. So theoretically, you didn't hear Fagan talking about, we were one down on the bench.
No, exactly.
And they kicked 9 goals in the last quarter.
well, some of the commentators were even saying, "Oh, geez, if Starcevic is coming off now, this is going to let Dangerfield out on the loose, and what are Brisbane going to do now?" And they were making out like it's going to be panic stations. No, Brisbane had an answer for everything, and they were so well prepared, and they didn't panic at any stage. And you've got to hand it to them; their planning and preparation was superb.
So 3 votes, Dr. Nick.
Yeah, and I just also wanted to mention a few other things prior to the game yesterday.
Okay.
Now, I know that probably not too many people would have watched this, but I'll be very interested to see if any of the people in our chat did. The North Melbourne Grand Final breakfast. Well,
Here in Bangkok.
What an absolutely unmitigated disaster this was. This is an hour of my life I'll never get back. Now, this used to be an institution. This used to be something that was worth going to. They charge something like, I think it's something near $1,500 per person to go to this breakfast.
Now,
I could be wrong. I think it's at least over 1,000.
What, to go to a breakfast?
They invite in years gone by and in decades gone by, we'd have some absolutely superb and genuinely funny speeches made by our political leaders. And I remember, in the 80s and the 90s and through that period, you'd have Bob Hawke, you'd have John Howard, you'd have Andrew Peacock, you'd have Paul Keating, eventually Kim Beazley, and they'd all get into the spirit of grand final day and make their speeches and take a little bit of the, piss out of each other and make some funny gags and genuinely funny stuff. They had our Deputy Prime Minister, Richard Marles, take the place of Airbus Elbow, who's jet-setting the world, meeting political leaders and talking shit. But apart from, Richard Marles' speech was just genuinely not funny. And then on comes the Liberal leader, Susan Lee, and she was just as unfunny. And you know what? If this is the sort of rubbish that they're gonna spew at a North Melbourne Grand Final breakfast, well, guess what, North Melbourne, you're better off not inviting them anymore because it's a waste of time. No one laughs. They're not funny. And they say the usual, platitudes and make out like they're football fans when we all know that they're not. And the rest of the time as well, apart from when those political leaders were on, they had this guy, I think it was Nigel Carmody from Channel 7, who declared that this is the first time in 15 years that Channel 7's televising the North Melbourne Grand Final breakfast, because all the other years it was on Foxtel. So Channel 7 decided to take it back over this year. Well, they didn't do themselves any favours. And his interviewing of the various special guests was terrible and just nothing worked. Absolutely nothing worked. And if that's the best that they can produce, I reckon they'll be struggling to sell tickets next year for the North Melbourne Grand Final breakfast. If you haven't seen it, you can actually access it. It's still up on the 7 Plus app, and if you go back and search AFL, it should come up, and you can have a look at. That's if you want to waste an hour of your life. You can have a look at what I'm talking about by replaying the North Melbourne Grand Final breakfast. The other thing that was absolutely sorry, Joe.
Can I just tell you, Seb is still in shock that you got to pay $1,000 for breakfast. He can get one at McDonald's for $5.
Fuck
yeah,
well, we were having a spit at 11 o'clock in the morning. And
well, I'm telling you now, Sebba,
I was already fucking 10 beers deep.
A McDonald's, bacon and egg McMuffin meal for whatever it costs, $12, is way better than wasting $1,000 on that rubbish. But anyway,
you never see me dead there.
Oh, don't worry. Most of the people that would have been there wouldn't have been the ones paying the money either.
No,
corporate. All corporates and whatever. The other thing that I thought was absolutely cringe yesterday. I was just waiting for something to, give me some ammunition on Andrew Dillon. Well, Did any of you watch what they did with Channel 7 in relation to delivering the match ball onto the MCG? Did any of you see that?
Or something?
Yeah, they had this bit about, Dipper, where's the match ball? And all of a sudden, I sent it to the MCG. Well, which MCG? And apparently they had, all these different businesses and all these different places that have the initials MCG. Even Mick Malloy had something like, Mix, Char and Grill. That's meant to be M, C and G. And it was just so cringe that I was embarrassed for them. I don't know if anyone else in the chat saw it.
Well, Peter V said that.
Oh, my God. Just terrible. Just why bother with all that? I mean, and then eventually Jack Revolt comes out with the Premiership Cup and all that. That's all fine. But why do they have to make a big deal about the match ball being given to the umpires and all that? I mean, just really, it just doesn't work.
Americanizing everything. They're just
Americanizing everything. You're right. And talking about Americanizing things,
they're ruining the fucking game. I'm sorry.
And talking about Americanizing things, their pre-game entertainment. We talked about it before, but I don't know. What did you think out there in the chat? What would you have given it out of 10? How would you have compared it with what Robbie Williams did, or with what Katy Perry did, or any of the other acts that we've seen over the years that have at least gotten us up and dancing a bit? Even the people that are into Snoop Dogg, it's not like you saw them, really getting into the swing of it and dancing and singing and all that, because it's not that sort of music. It's all very chill.
I'm not defending the AFL here, right? But tell me, who would you have put? It's all well and good. People go, "Oh, effing Snoop Dogg." Well, what are they going to?
I'll tell you someone I'd rather pay $5 million to, who would have the place bopping away with some fantastic hit songs, and she's Australian.
Armin van Buuren.
Kylie Minogue.
She doesn't do any more.
She'd be brilliant.
She's in retirement, and she's told people she won't come. She won't come out of retirement.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that, but I mean, that's the type of act I'm talking about. Someone who's going to get you up and singing and dancing and bopping away a little bit.
Who?
Well, I mentioned her, but I mean, even other people who are popular. The problem is today, what young people like is just so out of kilter with what anyone likes from wide generation and older.
What's wrong with going to Tomorrowland? What's wrong with going to Europe for a music
That's the problem, Vince.
Get all the Swedish House Mafia there. Get someone huge, I'm telling you.
Sebba's right. All the music that is produced today is all generated on computers.
It's all computer music.
The problem is that the AFL Grand Final crowd.
Good suggestion, Carl. Ricky Martin. There's a good suggestion.
Barring the fucking the members, 75% of it is just old, washed up pricks that are corporate.
Exactly.
Bastards. That's all it is. They're old, washed up corporate bastards.
You
know what I mean? How many kids missed out on a finals ticket because of some bum who owns a company? Well, there's not a bum who owns a company. Some old prick who owns a company gets 55 million tickets. You know what I mean?
Money talks, and bullshit.
It's a fucking joke.
It's a corporate. It's a corporate.
That's what I mean. You're sitting there. You're not even sitting with You're not even sitting with fans. You're just sitting with people that are using it as a social event.
And I'll tell you another thing. You're going on about the three things before the game. Who the hell wants to watch 8 footballers have a sprint over 100 metres at halftime?
It's something that used to be done years ago. People don't mind
that. Maybe some more entertainment. You should have got. They've got 20 minutes to fill. Maybe you could have someone else do some entertainment. I don't know, but who watch it over here? I'll tell you, we got 20 minutes of ads. Right? Yeah. We had the Channel 7 coverage. We had 20 minutes of ads. I don't want to watch 20 minutes of ads.
But they've got to pay for it somehow, Joe. So that's where they get their revenue from. It's all about making money. So it's not about pleasing the average supporter out there. And the Snoop Dogg thing, well, you heard already that they're going to be making some movie or some documentary or something or other. So apparently the grand final is going to be part of that. So, there's obviously different things happening that all interlink as to why we got him. But look, I think Andrew Dillon afterwards, seeing Snoop Dogg generally behaved himself by the sounds of it, he would have been breathing a massive sigh of relief that he didn't do anything or say anything that was going to be controversial.
Well, I'm sure they would have spoken to him beforehand, Vince.
Of course they would have, yeah.
I wish he came out with a big joint.
Yeah,
Ed Sheeran, there's another good suggestion. I mean, he's very popular. But look, at the end of the day, Joe, what Snoop Dogg appeals to is a very, very limited audience. And I don't think the majority of people at that ground or watching at home would have been in the slightest bit enthused by anything that he did. And while at the same time, respecting that, he is what he is. That's the type of music he sings. And, those who like him, good on you. Good luck to you. Nothing against you or nothing against him. But I just don't think it appeals to a wide cross-section of the community. But that's my opinion, and that's what this segment's all about.
You ain't down with it, brother. You're not in the... You haven't dropped it like a hot.
I think we need.
Anyway, all right.
I think we need to revolutionise and just get past all. all the.
I mean, I've always been.
I'm not going to talk because I'm going to trigger the 100 people that are in the chat about music, so I'm not going to talk. So I'll just leave it.
I've always been an advocate for Australian talent, and that's the sort of thing I'd like to see them, give priority to. But anyway.
Should get Armin van Buren or Swedish House Mafia.
Get some global superstar. Get like Martin Garrix or someone. You got people that try something different. Fucking, it's always the same garbage that they spew out. Try something different. Get something out there. Go and get Timmy Trumpet, probably the biggest Aussie DJ out there. Go and get him. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm not gonna. I'll stop talking. Because everyone's going to have a cry. Probably get shit having a cry.
Anyway, that's the last Vincano for the year. So I hope you enjoyed the Vincano segment.
Anyway,
it started off as Vince's verdict and became Vincano about halfway through the season, I think.
Well, thanks to the president of my fan club, Kaz. He gave us the beautiful... he did that magnificent...
Thanks, Paz.
Vincano. Hey, Vince, it's now time for your bet of the week.
How do we go, Joe?
And lo and behold, you won.
Yay!
Right? So, after about 27 rounds of betting, we won $183.
We made $95.
No, $183.
No. Wrong. Just look at the previous screen. You've stuffed it up again.
No.
We started with 100 and we won $95.
Okay, so what was the balance as at the start of last week?
150.
I'm going by your figures, and I'm going to send them to you.
150, and I bet $50, and I bet $50, so that if we lost the bet, we'd end up with our $100 that we started with. So I bet $50 at $1.90 at $1.90 at the line,
Vince,
which would have won us $95
your
back.
Figures.
Go and Vince, everybody. Also, I just want to remind everyone, hit the like button. There's not that many likes.
Yeah, like, share, and subscribe.
There wouldn't be a Blue Sunday without some typos or miscalculations on betting or whatever.
During the week, you were wrong.
All part of Joe's immaculate preparation for each show.
You guys are cooked, man. You guys are cooked.
Nah, we love each other. Don't worry.
Love it.
It's all
the
about
bottom line is we won. Now, people, before you start going on about betting and betting is not good. It is fake money. We don't.
We've covered this. We don't have to talk about it every week.
I know, but
everyone knows.
Money. Why are you lying?
I'll send you guys your share during the week.
Sebba, don't tell everyone that we actually bet 100 times more than what we say on the screen.
Yes.
When I say we bet $50, we bet $5,000.
Guys, if we're going to get ridiculed for this, or then the world's lost the plot. There was about 8,500 betting ads yesterday. You think shit. If you didn't want me to do my balls anymore, that it was telling me to do my balls. And as
thank you very much, Mikey J. $2. Blues are
Thank
done.
you.
Bye-bye, Charlie. I'll put my house on it. Anyway. Hey, guys, now
I lost my card.
this is the last show. We may do one after the draft. I have to talk to Sebba and Vince, but probably this may be our last. So I want to know, next year we've got Vince with his 2 segments. We've got Vincano and the bet. So we need one for Sebba. So maybe we might have to get Sebba to do the bets because Vince,
No.
most of yours are losses, not wins.
Oh, bullshit, they're losses.
What do you mean? He's been winning.
Had about 4 or 5 wins in a row, you rotten mongrel.
In a row?
I ended up with more money in
In
the
a
account
row?
at the end of the year. At the end of the year, did I end up with more money in the account than what I started with or not?
It was a rocky road, Vince.
Doesn't matter. Where did we finish
There were a
up?
lot of bumps.
Doesn't matter. Where did we finish
We
up?
want smooth sailing.
Oh,
we don't want to be,
listen,
as
we want
Bo
smooth
says-
sailing.
as Bo says, we don't want to be chasing our
That's
our
not how it
losses.
works, mate. That's not how it works.
Oh,
There's ups and
jeez.
downs, and there's swings and roundabouts. So
we've got one
what
already.
matters is what you finish up with compared to where you started. That's what matters.
Scotty,
7 shenanigans. I like that one.
Scotty's asked me to smoke a bong. It's actually legal. It's actually. I just want to show you guys. It's
Is that
actually
legal in Bangkok?
Here. It's
It
legal.
is.
Can I just show you?
Bring it on
Hang on.
the camera. No.
What?
We'll get a strike.
Bring that shit on. You can't. No.
No. I got given. I'm not going to show you, but it's over there. I got given a cigar.
Oh.
Right.
Is that what they call it?
Well, no, it's actually a cigar that's rolled like a cigar. I've never seen it before. And the girl that gave it to me said, this is because it's from one of our customers. And she said, this is from our new shop. You better go. I want you to try it. And I don't smoke anymore. So I'm looking for someone to give it to. So whoever wants to come over, I've got this. It's about 6 inches. It's huge. So, and
I'll tell you what. You should have given it to Snoop Dogg. He would have taken it.
I'll tell you what, he would have. I could have given it to thing. Lou's asked me, how's the sinkhole? I'm sure you people saw that.
Oh yeah.
It's about 4 or 5 kilometres from my house. Someone stuffed up the engineering. Apparently, it was from loose soil. But the police station is falling over, so now they're looking at probably pulling down the police station. But the hospital's okay. All right.
Hey, Joe.
Yes.
Guess what? We are, and this is the final show of all of the regular shows on the Jumper Punch channel right here and now tonight. So when we say good night, it's all over because the boys on Tuesday nights, they're not doing another show this week. I thought they might have to review the grand final, but no, they're not doing that.
Oh, really?
And Forever Rivals is also not happening. So I've just been asked by Scotty Tompkins about the Ryder Cup and being a big golf fan. How brilliant have
that's all we've got
the
time for
Europeans
tonight.
been? That's the last night coming up tonight. I think it's all the singles matches coming up, starting at about 2 a.m. But geez, the Europeans are looking good. I think they're about 11.5 points to 4.5, and they've only got to get to 14 to retain the Ryder Cup. And the Americans look all at sea at the moment, so I can't see the Europeans being beaten. But you would have seen some footage potentially of Rory McIlroy trying to concentrate on hitting his shot. And a lot of these hooligan American fans that obviously had too much to drink or something, getting a bit too enthusiastic, starting to, yell insults at him and make comments in the middle of his swing and that sort of thing. And at one point he had to turn around and say, "Why don't you shut the F up?" And I got to say, I didn't blame him because these guys are trying to, perform at the highest level. And, that's just downright rude. And I just wish that the security there at the course, which is that magnificent Bethpage Black course in New York, would just throw these idiots out because they just, the more you throw these sorts of idiots out for their poor behaviour, the others that are even thinking about behaving like that might think twice. But if they see them getting away with it and not be thrown out, well, then guess what? They'll do it too.
That's what golf, the sport of golf needs more violence, I think. Be a bit of sport.
Come on. No, the sport of golf is one of the few sports in the world where there's a lot of respect, especially from the opponents to each other. And, it's all played in very good spirits. And, I personally love watching golf. I think it's magnificent. And some of the courses that they play on are just so picturesque and amazing to observe, the views and all that sort of thing, the aspects that they show you on television, just magnificent. But anyway, it looks like the Europeans are going to hold on and win the Ryder Cup. You never know. It's never over till it's over. But out of the 12 singles matches, they only have to win another 3. In fact, 2.5 technically, but let's say 3 anyway.
Okay. Bo's put up that Unfiltered begins 9 p.m. this Tuesday. So I'm not sure what actually Unfiltered is about.
Oh, yes. Unfiltered is that show that Rocco does with Andy from the Monday Blues.
Oh, okay.
And they just talk about all sorts of issues and, societal issues and different topics. It could be anything on any day. So, it's nothing to do with football. It's all to do with, life issues, I suppose you'd call it.
We have another show on the way, but we can't talk. So,
okay.
Anyway.
So, Joe, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Thank you for hosting our show every week, or most weeks at least.
Right.
Shall I give listen, cheerio?
You can, Sebba.
Shall I give it? First off,
go.
I've got my cheerio too.
First off, to you two guys for welcoming me on the show and letting me come on. I know I haven't been on recently, but big thank you to you two.
No, you had some family commitments. That's understandable.
Yeah, big thank you for you two for having me on weekly. I appreciate it a lot. And
great to have you, mate.
Thank you. Big thank you to everyone in the chat. Everyone that's supported us all year, that's sat here and chatted shit with us and given us shit, and even though I've given shit back to Shadu tonight, and he or she is been in the chat, giving back to me. It is what it is. It's all fair. It's all good banter. In the end of the day, so if you take any of that stuff personally, well then it's probably not.
Come on, Vince.
For you, but yeah. Well, thank you to everyone. Thanks to everyone in the chat, and thank you to you too. So.
Okay, Vince, go.
Oh, look, I want to echo Sebba's thoughts, and been great to have both of you, especially since you came on too. Sebba added another dimension to our show, and Joe, as usual, been an absolute pleasure to work with you, and I look forward to every week to see what sort of mistakes you make up on the screen, but. No, thanks for that.
Oh shit! I thought he actually timed out.
No. He just decided to kick me off there for a few seconds. And like you, Sebba, just a big thank you to everyone in the chat for your loyal support, for your contributions with your comments and opinions. Doesn't have to be the same as ours, so long as you're in there contributing. That's what we appreciate. And and also thanks to Rocco and Mars for accepting us year upon year on their channel, the Jumper Punch channel. We enjoy being part of it, and with any luck, we'll be back again next year to review all the Carlton games together with David Rhys-Jones, who, I tell him every year, if you ever get sick of this, or if you've got better things to do on a Sunday night, you don't have to be or feel obligated. He said, no, I quite enjoy it. It's a bit of therapy for me too. So, Rhys enjoys getting on and having his say on what's happening with the Carlton Football Club. And, he's always been extremely insightful. And, we consider ourselves very, very lucky to have him. So, so looking forward to hopefully what will be a better year for Carlton supporters next year. Who knows how it's going to turn out. The last year of Michael Voss's contract, will he get, Carlton up the ladder to the point where he gets an extension, or will he simply be seeing out time? And it'll be a very interesting year to see how it pans out. So whatever the case, it won't be boring.
It won't. I'd just like to echo the sentiments that both Sebba and Vince have put forward. Rocco, Mars, They've been fantastic support for us at the Jumper Punch,
Yeah.
and they've welcomed us to their channel, so I'm really happy. Also, I can't go without saying a big cheerio and thank you to my number one supporter, Paz, who we had on the show, president of my cheer squad.
Yes.
I'm going to send a big cheerio to Scotty Tompkins. He asked for a big cheerio, so Scotty, saw him the other night on the emergency room, and he was quite good. Oh, no, not emergency room. What was it? Forever Rivals. Sorry, I think it was.
Yep.
They've done well. And last but not least, Bo. He's also been a welcome addition to the Jumper Punch channel, and he's always in the chat.
So on you, Bo.
He's a really
champion.
Good.
He actually,
also,
he actually did a live show of the grand final yesterday. You know that?
No, I didn't.
He did a big watch along for 4 odd hours. So well done to you, Bo, for doing that. And I think you're going to see a lot more of Bo next year on the Jumper Punch channel.
Good. But I'd like to also, all our regulars who come on every week, you know who you are, Al, who else? Darren,
Everyone.
Rocco Moro.
Once you start getting into individuals, Joe.
Even to the people who don't comment in the chat and sit there and watch every week.
Yeah,
even to the people, you don't have to comment. You don't have to comment. You don't have to donate. You don't have to do anything.
There are a lot of people like that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Just like, share, and subscribe. Like I said, I'll speak to Vince and Sebba off air. We may do a show at the end after all the free agency and trade. Not sure. We'll see what happens. We'll change the format. Any ideas that people have if they want to make the show more exciting or more interchangeable, might get some of the regular viewers to come on next year for 15 minutes like we had with Paz. So we'll do all that. So once again, thank you everyone for the great year. We normally go out with what's happening, but as there's no shows coming up, let's go out with a tune that we all love, and let's hope that we hear it this time next year. Yes. So on behalf of me, Sebba, Vince, and the whole Jumper Punch channel, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next year.
We are the Navy Blues. We are the old dark Navy Blues. We're the team that never lets you down. We're the only team old Carlton knows. With all the champions they like to send up, we'll keep our end up, and they will know that